So, so we commit suicide. Let's do it again.
You're watching Bots Playthrough. Here, I play through requests made by the Megaman Maker community and give my personal opinion about them. Feel free to submit your level in my topic, which you can find a link in the video description, so I could deliver an honest review of it. So, stay tuned and enjoy.
Okay guys, so welcome to our fourth episode of Request in a Row, and here we're gonna start with Gravity Shift from the maker 8GKN4. I saw that that level on the forum of Megaman Maker. He posted it today, but as we can see, the level is dated from a couple of days. 34 plays, score 5, so I think there's some issues in that level. From what I read on the level description, there's water involved, and he used it to create gravity gimmick, so I'm pretty excited to see how did he manage to put this. So, Gravity Shift. So, usuals, we don't have charge, we have a slide, and we have busters. So here we start with a room filled with water. As you can see how you're gonna make the difference, it's the bubbles that comes out from Megaman. So that's how we're gonna make the difference in rooms where that are filled with water and the others that are don't. So let's go on. So here, as you can see, you get out of water at this instant. Okay, so there's nothing there. Oh, that's what. This is what. That was pretty clever. So, so we commit suicide. Let's do it again. So the fish comes, get out of water, you come near, and he throws his bomb on him. Okay, one last time. Oh, it was too quick. Oh, learns us is to be careful when we see something, so not to be quick, not to react too quickly. So in every screen that we're gonna enter, I'm gonna take my time just to check out my environment. So okay, so here, same thing here. We have shrimps. Okay, so we have water here. Involving rotating platform. I have to say that the first rotating platform was a good way to make the player learn about the gimmick. This is kind of sketchy though, because I know it's intended that you don't that you can see the difference with water or not, but it's pretty it can be messy. So as you see, you have water not everywhere. Same thing here. So it messes with the behavior of the enemies. It's still an interesting idea though. I kind of like it. So I'm pretty sure that there's water involved there. No? Okay. Oh, I was pretty sure that it was that way that we needed to go. Oh, it would have been good to see the floor there though. I'm gonna talk about the layouts since I have the time. It's not it's another interesting layout to use Centaurman tiles mixed with Crashman tiles. It gives us a nice visual effect. But at some place, it just seems that it was placed randomly. If we take here, for example, with these blocks, it doesn't merge well with the rest of the tile work, in my opinion. Poor shrimp. Okay, so we get our first checkpoint. So we change of tiles, we change of environment. There is no connection though between these. So oh, and I can soft lock myself here, as you can see, because there is no water here. So I hope that you take note of that. So I'm gonna have to go back to the checkpoint. That's a building issue though. It's something that you might need to fix. It's, with your level theme, it's something that's gonna be easy, because you just have to add water in this part here, just to prevent these kind of situations. Okay, so here, okay. Some screen transition are sketchy, like this one, as you can see, and this one too. And just to go back for what I was saying before about the tile work, there's no connection between the two sections, so we just change of environment, and we don't know why. We didn't enter in sort of cavern, we didn't enter any sort of tower or facilities. So when you use different tiles from some sections during a level, try to make it try to build a flow around it, just has to be smooth, and it has to connect with the rest of your level. So that being said, we're gonna move forward, same as here. So there's a huge difference in the tiles, and we don't know why. So this fight was pretty easy. I like these kind of challenges when you involve ladders and tricky jumps, but it was nothing too hard here, since the ladders are pretty huge, pretty long, I must say. Okay, so kind weird of way to get the player to the boss room. So he says that Bubble Man can commit suicides intentionally. So I'm curious to see. Okay, so I understand why. It's because the room is not filled with water. So you have this part here where I'm standing right now on these platforms. Like here, he commits suicides. You see? So we're gonna take him out of his pain. So that is what it was talking about. God, I had problems with that sentence. So nothing too hard. If you are able to bring Bubble Man at this on these steps here, it's a rather pretty easy fight. But even without that, since there's no spikes involved in the boss room layout, there's no real threat in this boss room. And knowing the behavior of Bubble Man, it's gonna be a easy fight to handle. So we're gonna kill him. Go ahead. Okay, so overall it's not a bad level. The idea is interesting, and knowing the limits of Megaman Maker, I liked the proposition that you gave us. I do think that there's something that you can polish in that level. Um, Even if you want to do something gravity, maybe try to take Centaur's men level, for example, when the water comes from the top, even with a black background. It's something that, in my opinion, you could include, and it's gonna be more fluid for the player, and you could involve more platforming elements and include more gimmicks into it, because at this stage, I know it was your intention, but we don't see the difference whether there's water or not. So yeah, besides that, enemy positioning, they didn't brought any threats. They were not so many. I liked some funny things that you've put. I just remember the fish that we saw on the first screen that's killing himself. You made me laugh about that, but besides that, there's no real combat section. There's no real threat during that level. The boss room, yeah, I know you said that it was a possibility that Bubble Man could end like it did in my battle, but even without that, the boss room that you built poses no threat to the player. At least on the original Mega Man 2 game, the room with Bubble Man had some spikes on it, on the ceiling, so the player was forced to control his jumps, not to kill himself on the ceiling. But in your room, there's no threat, and the behavior of Bubble Man is not too hard to learn, because it's just a cycle in his attacks. So just maybe that's something that you could modify if you want to release a newer version of it. And what I said about the visual effects and the tile work, there is no connection between the three sections of your level. Sorry. So it's something that you could try to polish, to make it better, so it's more fluid to our eye, and at least we know that we're changing sections, and there's a connection between these sections. I don't know, that you start into a facility and you get down into a basement, and you get outside and you reach a waterfall where Bubble Man's waits you. I don't know, it's just as an idea that I just threw out. So yeah, but overall it's an interesting theme and idea that you brought us, so it gives you a thumbs up in my opinion. But even with that thumbs up, like I said, there's some issues that you need to arrange to your level. Just talking about the soft lock that happened to me during my playthrough. It's something that you have to check out before releasing a level. And other than that, I hope that you make a polished version about that level, and I will be excited to play through it. So keep on the good work, and go back to your editor to make this level better. Okay, so we're gonna continue our playthrough. This level, Megamans, generally traditional adventure, made by Pyrakid the Wolf, was proposed to me by the maker Tylerbot. So I'm gonna play through it. 11 plays, score of 0, so it's either bad or an average level. So we're going to find out. Okay, so Megamans, generally traditional adventure. Okay, so usuals. We do have a charge, we have a slide, and okay, so leaf shield, air shooter, rush coil, item 1, item 2. Okay then. So at first, I can understand that these are supposed to be like platforms. It's kind of basic. So, okay. Oh, this one is cheap position, so as soon as you land on the tile, he's shooting you. So, crash lifts. So we do need to use an item to get this energy tank. So here we go. So nothing too hard here. Just have to time your jumps. This is a bad way to make the player learn about a gimmick, because if you fail if you fail it, I'm gonna say that way, you're gonna fall to your death here. So it's a hard way to punish a player when he does not know about that gimmick. So that being said, we're gonna continue. A strange way to use crash lifts in your visual though. Okay, so do I need to wait? No, there seems to have no footholders or yoku blocks. Do I need to use item 2? Oh, okay, so there's any tank here. No way to get there. I'm gonna see what's downstairs. Okay, so you had to get yourself down. Another. Okay, so there's a chance that you hit that spike here. Gonna see if there's something on my left, because it's whoops, it's a no open here. Nope, there's nothing.
Yay!
When you give tools to the player to maneuver in any level, try to avoid these kind of things here, because it just says to the player that there might be something behind that screen, and we can easily get through there by using item 2 like I did before. So it's just a time waste and level building, a layout issue. That's all about it. So here we are forced to use item 1. So since we don't have any energy capsule, weapon energy capsule before, there's a chance that the player might soft lock himself there if he runs out of energy. So it's something that you might have to change. At least put a weapon energy before. So if the player dies and doesn't have any more weapon energy, he's not gonna be stuck there and forced to retry your level, which can be really frustrating and can lead to abandon. So it's just a tip that I'm throwing out. Okay, so little part with crash lifts and tellies, so it's just gonna remember us our whole crashman level. So what's here? You see, I'm curious to see what's down there, but I'm pretty sure that there's nothing. So, but in the other hand, he wouldn't have put this screen here. So for the sake of the review, I'm gonna get down here.
Yay!
And I'm falling to my doom. So this screen has no purpose. Oh, come on. Oh, I forgot we have Rush Coil too, but even with that in hand, if we run out of energy of both, there's no way we're gonna get that cliff. And I could say it's the same thing about Hunter 2. I just forgot about that because if you landed well, you could use it as a platform to get up. But in overall, the idea was just to say that there's a possibility to softlock the player here. So same as the other thing, the other screen on the left. This one is only a filler and is just confusing the player. So avoid these. Okay, so if you drop there, there's okay. I understand now, but even that, try to avoid these kind of layout. So there was anything there. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here? There's a spike and nothing beside on the other side.
Yay!
Oh, okay, so we come across Cutman. You're stuck there, my friend. So, as you can see, I can easily cheese through Cutman just by keeping myself there. Because if you don't get any near, you're not gonna trigger his jump. So bad design layout. Yeah, overall, it's there's some kind of idea behind your level. There's some traditional elements that that were introduced in your level. If I just remember about the spike fall that we had, the crash lift sections with the tellies that you took from the Crashman level in Megaman 2. They weren't that bad. What stands the most is the layout problem. There's a lot of confusing sections, some area that make the player think that there's something behind it, and it doesn't. So try to fix that. For the other viewers, you see that these are the kinds of things that you must avoid to use in your levels, because it's just a time waste, and to make the player learn by death is not a good way to make the player learn. It's more frustrating than anything else. And it's literally a time waste. So that being said, these kind of layouts that you saw there, try to avoid that because it's just annoying. Enemy in place positioning was good. Didn't felt in danger during the whole level. It's and overall it's a pretty easy level if you don't mind the bad the layout problems that leads you to your death. The visual effects are poor in my opinion. There's no research, there's no effort put in it. It's pretty simple, pretty bland. so it's not a good element. And the boss room, first of all, we don't even know that we are about to cross a boss room first, and second, as you saw, there's a problem with that boss room, because you can easily soft lock Cutman on the left side and just kill him with all the time that you need if you don't get any near of him. So that's another issue, because it doesn't pose any threat. It doesn't offer any challenge to the player. So that being said, I must put a thumbs down in that level. Okay, so now we have a level that was proposed to me by maker Tyler Butt. So Polar Man, made by Josh Gamer 27. It's as you can see, it's a level that I already played. Actually, I played it last night. I just played through a random levels last night without recording them, which is for fun. So I know what I'm about to face. It's a kind of
Yay!
so it's a kind of popular level for a level that was published on the 10th. So 72 plays, last scores of 20, which is really good. So I'm gonna let you guys see what it's all about. So Polar Man. So as you can see, the loading time is kind of quick, so it's gonna be a short level. So usuals, we do have a charge, we have slide, and we have atomic fire, top spin, and Pharaoh shot. So let's get down. So at first, a huge jump. It's more it's a slide jump actually. I'm just gonna let you see if you don't slide, if it is possible to make. It is okay, so it's not too hard, but again, for first challenge, it can be hard for non-casual players. So here, if the player doesn't know about the second function of the top spin, he's gonna have trouble with that screen. So at least I'm gonna kill these fuckers here. Okay, so what you could have done is put a weapon block here of top spin, just to indicate the players that in that screen he needs to use the top spin to get over the cliff here. So at least it gives a hint to the player about that. So I'm gonna show you how it's supposed to work. So here we go. So here you could easily just remove that teleporter if you happen to see that video, Josh Gamer, or other viewers that doesn't know how to set one-way teleporters. I suggest you to get to see my second episode. At the end, I do a mini tutorial on how to set one-way teleporters. So good gimmick introduction, so we know how this enemy reacts. So you can tackle this time bomb section easily. So here we have a tackle fire, we have rotating platforms that okay, so it activates automatically. Now this one is pretty good because it sends the player to a safe place and doesn't activate this one, but on the other end this one is activated though, so it's something that's background transition here. So it's something that you could that might be fixed there, because it's really ugly to the eye. There's no there's no connection, there's nothing. So and I have to go back because I made some blocks fall and I can go back further. Okay. This is hard, man. If the player wants to get down that cliff, he dies automatically. So again, as I said before, learning by death is pretty cheap. So try to avoid these kind of situation, okay? Because in my opinion, it's not the player's fault if he dies there, because how you built the layout. If I want to get down by the cliff, I can. It's my choice, but leading to my death is kind of way to. It's kind of a cheap way to make me learn that I can't jump off the cliff. Checkpoint before the boss, and here we have Polar Man, aka Iceman. So pretty simple boss battle. It's the same boss battle as we saw in Mega Man 1, so there's nothing too hard. And I just suck at it. So here we go, he died. So it was pretty simple there. So overall, short stage. There's some good elements in that stage and some bad. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the gimmick introduction. Most of them were pretty good because it didn't lead the player to his death if he didn't know and it didn't knew about the gimmicks. And I'm talking about rotating platforms, falling blocks, about these. One of my issue is with the use of the top spin. When you enter the room with the 3 bats, there is no indication that you need to use a top spin to get by the cliff. Like I said during the playthrough, just had a weapon block inside your layout, at least to give a hint to the player to use that weapon in that screen. So it's gonna be less confusing for the player. Other than that, visual effects are pretty simple, but for an icy stage it does the job. I have nothing to say about that. The other thing that I could point out is just the background uses. As you saw, there is a cut when you get to the upper section of the level, and it fills at that for that. It doesn't maintain the theme or the atmosphere that you set before we get to that section. So we can see that there's a cut there. Enemy positioning, there's nothing cheap in your level, and there's no real combat section either. You focused enemies at some places. So for example, when you on the third screen, when you face two Olulus at the same time, and after that you don't see many enemies until that you arrive at the top of your climbing section, when you have a Bone Joe, sorry, and Sniper Joe at the same time. Again, So try to put more enemies and don't concentrate them on the same screen. So that's about that. Platforming sections were pretty good, nothing bad. Boss room was pretty simple, nothing challenging. You gave the player top spin, atomic fire, and pharaoh shot. You force the player to use the top spin once in your level, and for the other two weapons I don't even need them and during my playthrough, so they are pretty useless in my opinion. So again, when you decide to put weapons at the player disposal, try to build a stage around the usage of them. Not just don't throw weapons at the player just making cheese through your level, because it's removing all the fun factor in it. So that's about that. So there's an interesting idea. I think that this level needs more tweaking. It can be longer too. The length is kind of short. The difficulty is I can qualify it of really easy, and that's about it. So last night I put a thumbs up because there was still some thinking behind this level building. Things were not thrown out to the player, but there's some improvement needed in that level to make it even better. So I hope that Josh Gamer will have hear of that feedback that I made, and that he's gonna make a new version of Polarman that we could see soon. Okay then, so that's about it. Okay, so at last we have a Palace Frozen in Time, a level made by Gokuless. So he asked me to make a review about it, so I'm gonna get down to business. Okay, so Palace Frozen in Time. Okay, so usuals, we do have a charge, we have slide, and no weapon so far. Okay, at first I really enjoy the use of those spikes here that resemble to icicles. So pretty clever idea here. Oh fuck, okay. Forget to jump there. So that's a tricky jump at first. Okay, so we get our first weapon, atomic fire. Okay, so I have two choice, but I'm pretty sure that there's something down here. Oh boy, I haven't seen those Suzies since they have the same color as the background. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but that's a cheap way to brutalize a player. Okay, I'm just gonna go back a screen because I released my charge shot by accident. I'm just gonna kill those guys. I don't know this little Susie here. I think that there's a problem with the direction that you put, because he just hit himself left to right, and I'm pretty sure that you wanted him to get up and down as the other one behind it. So maybe that's something that you could check. But I know that there's some issues involved with Mega Maker. When you put some levels online, there are some behaviors that tend to change, and I don't know why. So maybe that's a part of the explanation. Whoops. So okay, so we have to get through the butt. So you dodge. Nothing too hard, but it's a fun challenge that you put there. Okay, if I tend to get down here. Okay, so I like the fact that you put an item 3 there too, to prevent soft-locking. So I'm just gonna get through the place that I was meant to get by first. So checkpoint. So here, that's a good thing. So you force the player to use item 3, so he does know how it reacts now. So we do some backtrack. So far, good visual effects. Ah, fuck! My jump didn't register. Damn controller. Okay. So we're gonna get our second weapon. This is a filler room. You should avoid these, as they just take space in the level for no reason. Wow, there's a shitload of energy weapon here, so the player will not softlock himself at some places, and he can face the challenges that's ahead of him. So nothing too hard here. So clever idea to put a high slasher barrier here behind the flame pillar, so it forces the player to try to use the high slasher, and when he's gonna do it, he's gonna learn that he can freeze the flame to get up. Just need timing though. Okay. So, okay. I'm gonna get down. No. Okay. I thought that no, it's just me that was dumb in that one. Okay, so we managed to get the damn Jiminy laser. So we're gonna go back. Oh fuck! Damn, got myself in a tight situation here. Same thing. Okay. Hold on, I don't have enough. Okay. Feared that I didn't have enough weapon energy, which is the case here. So I'm soft lock here. Nice. No way to go back. So it's something that you should fix, because I don't see the point to put ladders high up there, since we already passed the item tree challenge. So it's pretty frustrating for the player, which I'm right now. I'm frustrated because I have to get back to the checkpoint and go back to that section again. Okay, here we go. So, I hope that there's nothing too deadly behind that. Okay. So, no refill for item 3, and I have to get up there. So, something that is kind of impossible now. And I don't know how I'm gonna face that challenge. Trust me. Wow. Okay, so fuck that. I'm sorry, but this is building problems here. So fuck that challenge. So it's gonna be fuck the rest of these challenge, because as I see, you need a previous weapon to get access to the other one. So fuck it. Sorry, but this is a bad issue on that level. So you put challenges in your topic for your level, but you don't give the tools to the player to get them. Because as you see, I don't have any more item tree energy. So and now I do have some, but I can go back since you put that boss gate before. So it's a pretty bad issue there. So I'm gonna just continue the review of the paths that in which I'm gonna get through now. So enemy placement here is kind of fair, nothing too hard. Spikes with icy floor, so you have to be careful. In this situation, use jump to move forward, because you're not gonna slip on the ice. So get our buddy here. You just have to get to that platform, and you have enough time to kill it. Checkpoint here. What do we have here? Shield attackers. So, not that hard. So, we arrived at the boss room. Oh, diamond. Oh, there's something original here. But does he trap himself down there? Okay, so he's able to get back on the other side. But that's about it. I'm curious to see if you manage to play a lot of boss battles with Timon to see. Okay, so he does come here, but it takes a while to do it. It takes around 1 minute of battle, just him to get to this side. So in my mind, this is an issue. Okay, the visual effects are pretty good. The use of spikes as icicles is a clever idea. You put a lot of them, but most of them are not threatful. They are more like visual effects, and the one that you put that the player must dodge are not too tricky. Just the one on the ice floor. The player just have to know that jumping doesn't make Megaman slides when he lands on the tile. So it's a good thing to know if you want to get across those spikes. Other than that, the weapons that you put through your level, it's fun to make some challenges around them and use previous weapons in the next challenges to keep the player using them. But as I said, there's a major issue about weapon energy in the level. As you saw, I couldn't pursue the weapon challenges after acquiring the Gemini laser, since I didn't have any more energy for my item 3 to get through the corridor that we saw after that. So I think this is a letdown, because all the other challenges needs the previous weapons, so you can't there's a possibility that during a playthrough the player can have a 100% play run, and in my opinion having that kind of issue as soon at the start of the level, it just says to me that these issues might happen later on the other in the other challenges. So it doesn't bring me to make another playthrough of the level just to get a 100% run, because I might face the same frustration. So I'm not gonna waste my time on that. But if you happen to resolve this issue by having item 3 capsule after at some particular places to prevent these situations, it might help you to have a replay value and not make the player frustrate. So it's about that. Enemies, they were well placed. There's not an overuse of them. There's no cheap positioning. Just an issue with the Suzy that you saw earlier. I think that's an issue when you put your level online in Mega Maker. Like I said, it happens that some enemy behaviors are switched, so it doesn't hack that in the way that you've put it in your editor. So it's not your fault. The boss battle, it's kind of interesting, but as you saw, it takes quite a while to time to get across the room in the side where you start the battle, and it gives you, I think, enough time to kill him before he can get to you. So that being said, it's not a very difficult battle, because you can just stay at one side, and you just have to dodge his time arrows, and you just pummel him until he gets to your side, which takes quite a while. So maybe review that. I don't know, maybe larger the hole on the ground, just to make time jumps on the left side earlier. I don't know. It's something that you have to check out. So I'm kind of mixed. I have mixed feelings about that level. There's a good building layout. Visual effects are good. The theme is well set, but there's some issues that doesn't bring the excitement of playing that level. There's a lot of frustrations indicators involving majorly weapon energy, and that being said, I don't feel that I have completed the level in the whole, and I don't have the joy to replay it to get 100% run, since, like I said, I might face again weapon energy issues, and I don't want that. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to face these situations. So that being said, I'm not gonna put a thumbs up, and I'm not gonna put a thumbs down. I'm gonna let the score as it is. So yeah, it's the first time that I'm doing that. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about that level. So yeah, so if you resolve these issues, let me know about it. Maybe I'm gonna take my time to replay it to see if it got better, and if everything mix well together. So yeah, that's about that for that level. So it was the last one from this episode. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So feel free to post your request on my topic on Megaman Makers forum, which you have the link in the video description. So I'm gonna get back to work, make some more playthrough. So I'm gonna see you soon, guys. Later.